What's up, guys? So, what's up, guys? It's your bro, Richie Rich here. So your bro, Richie Rich here. Today in this video is now part five on the part five on the Cadillac V series. So without further ado, let's get started. So the next part I'm on is the Gen 3 V series. So let's do it. So the Gen 3 V series. Gen 3 V series. So Gen 3 V series. So Gen 3 V series included the sub brands flagship, the CTS-V, and the compact ATS-V. So the compact ATS-V. Unlike the Gen 1 and 2, where the CTS was the biggest update for the V series, for the V series, so unlike the Gen 1 and 2, unlike Gens 1 and 2, where the CTS-V, where the CTS-V was the CTS-V was the biggest update for the V series. The Gen 3 is the first expansion attempt on the V brand for Cadillac. So V brand for Cadillac. Typically the V series served as Caddy's top of the line trim level. So top of the line trim level. And that mainly was exclusive to the CTS, since that's where it all started. Since that where it all started. However, with such buzz created, by the Gen 2 V series, and short-lived record for a sedan on a demanding racetrack, Cadillac wanted to build on that success with other models in their lineup. This led them to create the V Sport, where potential buyers interested in the V series, where potential buyers interested in the V where potential buyers interested in the V series could purchase a CTS with both, so with increased horsepower, so increased power, sportier handling, and bypass the comfort and luxury trims by getting an entry-level performance model for $20,000 less than the fully fledged CTS-V. Speaking of the V Sport, we're on it now. Starting with the XTS, The nickname, the marquee, well, nickname offers a the nickname offers a special. The nickname offers a step trim called V Sport. The V Sport trims top of the V Sport trims the top of the top of the V Sport the V Sport trim the V Sport trims the top of the XTS line with a 3.6 liter turbo, well, twin turbo V6 motor, I believe. Yeah. With a 3.6 liter twin turbocharged V6, I believe, producing 400 producing producing 400 producing 410 horsepower. So 410 horsepower. That's the same as a 2015 S550 Gen 6 Mustang GT with a V8 5-liter, obviously, Coyote. So the V Sport trim is the top of the V Sport trim is the top of the line. Well, the V Sport trim's the top of the XTS line with a 3.6 liter twin turbocharged V6 motor, producing 410 horsepower. The next year, the Gen 3 CTS offered with a V Sport trim line, however, with an increased output of 420 horsepower. Both of them were the only V-badged cars of Cadillac until both the CTS-V and ATS-V. For the 2016 model year, for the 2016 model year, so 2016 model year, um, the trims rebranded as V Sport. The V Sport trim designations discontinued, with both the CTS and XTS. So CTS and XTS sedan phase outs in both 2019 and 2020, 2019 and 2020, so 2019 and 2020 respectively. Next is the CTS-V, the most iconic one, as I like to call it. The CTS-V is powered by a supercharged version of the 6.2 liter 6.2 liter LT4 V8 motor found on the Chevy Corvette C7 Z06. So the 6.2 liter the CTS-V is powered by a supercharged version of the 6.2 liter LT4 V8 motor found on the Chevy Corvette on the Corvette C7 on the Chevy Corvette C7 Z06. So the CTS-V is powered by a supercharged version of the Corvette C7's 6.2 liter LT4 V8 motor found 6.2 liter LT4 V8 motor found on the Z06. It generated 300 not 300 sorry it generated 600 600 it generated 640 horsepower and 600 so it generated 640 horsepower, the same as the V10 Viper Gen 3. GTS and ACR, obviously. It generated 640 horsepower. 640 horsepower. So 640 horsepower. 640 horsepower. 10 less than a Z06, and 630 pound-feet, 850 newton meters of torque. So 640 horsepower and 630 pound-feet. So 640 horsepower and 630 pound-feet, 850 newton meters of torque. 10 horsepower less than the Z06, making it the third, making the Gen 3 CTS, making the Gen 3 CTS-V uh, the most the most powerful the most powerful Cadillac, the most powerful Cadillac ever produced up until the most powerful the most powerful Cadillac ever produced up until 2020, up until 2022. So up until 2022, brilliant year it was. Brilliant year it was. Up until 2022, with the release of the CT5V Blackwing, so CT5V Blackwing, weighing 45 pounds, 1880 kilos. The CTSV equipped with an 8-speed auto with launch control, obviously, was able to do 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. Top speed of 200 miles an hour, earning the Gen 3 CTSV the unofficial nickname the four-door Corvette. It's a four-door Corvette because it essentially shares the same exact V8 as the Corvette, obviously. The mighty 6.2 liter supercharged LT4 V8 motor. Obviously, so unofficial nickname, the four-door Corvette. Next, last but certainly not the very least, we got is both the ATS-V sedan and coupe versions. Alright, so the ATS-V sedan. So the ATS-V sedan and coupe. So the ATS-V sedan and coupe filled the gap left by the Gen 2 CTSV. Cadillac made both the Gen 1 and 2 Gen 1 and 2 Gen 1 and 2 CTS smaller than a BMW 5 Series and larger than a 3 Series BMW, obviously. However, with the Gen 3 CTS growing larger to however with the Gen 3 CTS with the Gen 3 CTS with the Gen 3 CTS with a Gen 3 CTS so Gen 3 CTS Gen 3 CTS Gen 3 CTS growing larger to match the size of the 5 Series. Cadillac armed the ATS-V with the LF4. Say LF4. Oh shit. So Cadillac armed the Cadillac armed the ATS-V with the LF4. So Cadillac armed the ATS-V with the LF4, a 3.6 liter, a 3.6 liter, 3.6 liter twin turbocharged V6 motor, which is also found on the which was also, oh shoot, sorry about that. Almost cussed. I don't want to do that. Which was also found on the V Sport XDS, which is the Gen 3 CTS, obviously. Alright, so, however, with the Gen 3 CTS growing larger to match the size of the 5 Series, the BMW 5 Series, Cadillac armed the ATS-V with the LF4, a 3.6-liter twin-turbocharged twin-turbocharged V6 motor, producing 400. So Cadillac armed the Cadillac armed the ATS-V with the LF4, a 3.6-liter twin turbocharged a 3.6-liter twin turbocharged V6 motor, producing 464 horsepower. So 464 horsepower. So 464 horsepower and 445 pound-feet. So 445 so 400 so 400 so 400 so 445 pound-feet, 600 so 445 pound-feet, so 445 pound-feet, so 445 pound-feet, 600 600 603 newton meters of torque. The ATS-V is the first ever V Series Cadillac 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 to be powered by a V6 rather than a V8. Alright, so that'll be it for now. Ow. God, that hurts. So for my next video will be about the Gen 4 V series. So Gen 4 V series. So Gen 4 V series. Alright, so that'll be it. I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace. Peace out, folks.